In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called MailMint, which, as it shows on my screen, is an email marketing automation solution for WordPress. Before we poke around the website here a bit and then look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products and services we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website, product, and services for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this or other types of videos created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free lifetime partner membership. We thank MailMint for being a partner. If you go over to our website, find the deals area, do a search for MailMint, and grab that exclusive deal if you like what you see in this video. Okay, so the website we are looking at is getwpfunnels.com/email-marketing-automation-mail-mint. Long URL there, but you can actually see it here on my screen as well, or just do a search for MailMint in your browser. Okay, so as I typically do, we're going to dive down into the footer unless something catches my eye. Alrighty, let's see here. Down into the footer, we see, let's see, what do I want to see? They have an affiliate program if that's something that you're interested in. Let's check out the documentation. I want to check out, is there an about page? Let's go back to the top. Okay, is there an about page? Okay, not seeing an about page. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I would like to see an about page with faces and names, like a team. See who the team is behind the product. So a bit of a recommendation there. I want to check out the change log, and I want to pull up all of the features just in case I don't want to miss any when we excuse me when we go to look at the actual solution. So let's see. All right, we'll just go off what's up here in the header. Features: email campaign builder, email automation, lead capture forms, abandoned cart recovery, email templates, integrations, contact management, AI email writing. Again, one final reminder, this is a high-level introduction. This is not a deep dive. It's not an official tutorial, nothing like that. Just a high-level introduction to the product. So digging into all of these features, we will do at a very high level. Okay. All right. Documentation. Let's see what we have here. Let's go to MailMint. Looks to be some pretty good documentation here. We've got some screenshots with annotation. Yeah. All right. This looks to be good documentation. And we also have the ability to search. Let's go ahead and test that out. Let's try typing in the word checkout. Very nice. Okay. So I'm going to pull this over to my other screen in case we need it. Okay, here we have the change log and we see version numbers with the dates, which is what I like to see. And we have an active change log, so that's great. So that's actually WP funnels. Let's go over to MailMint Pro. We'll go free and then Pro. So again, active change log, MailMint Pro, active change log. Okay. Very, very cool. And also the ability to search. That's really cool. I don't think I've seen that before. Let's do a search for WooCommerce, for example. That's very slick. Very, very slick. Okay. Let's go check this out. So I have just a test WordPress site, just a couple of plugins here. WooCommerce integrates with MailMint. So I have that installed and activated. I did not activate these other two plugins because from my understanding, the MailMint plugins, from my understanding, is we're going to see kind of like a wizard. So I wanted to do that together. Actually, let's pull up the MailMint site again. Let's go to the integrations. See if we can find integrations here. Let me just do a search. Okay, WooCommerce EDD integration, Chat GPT, OpenAI integration, and then they've got Gravity Forms, Fluent Forms, Contact Form 7, Jet Form Builder, and Elementor Form integrations. Okay, cool. So I wanted to make sure we mention that so that doesn't get missed. Okay, so we need to activate the free version before we get into the pro. You can grab the free version from the repo or from your MailMint account. So let's go ahead and activate that. Okay, so here's that wizard that I was alluding to before. All right, that's good. Okay, let's go down here to let's start. All right, so we're going to put in some business information, name, address. We can drop in a logo if we want. Let's see. Click that. I'll drop in a logo. We'll skip the address information for now. Okay, you're all set. We see an opt in down here to opt in to receive tips, discounts, and recommendations. Okay, I'm going to uncheck that just for now. Up to you if you want to do that. I'm going to go to the dashboard. And we're going to go right away back to plugins, and we are going to turn on Pro. And let's see what we've got here. It looks like we need to do some licensing. All right. Bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to get my license information, and we will get going. All right, have the licensing pulled up, and just let me copy my key. I'm going to do this on my other screen. All right, so we are licensed up and ready to go. Okay, let's go back over to where do we want to go here? Where is MailMint? Okay, we are in MailMint. Let's go to the dashboard. Right off the bat, we get an alert. You do not have any SMTP set up on your website. Please note that your website uses the default WP sending service, which is not recommended for sending promotional emails. Yes, that is absolutely true. So lots of options for you to set up SMTP email on your site. We're not going to do that in this video, but yeah, definitely have that set up there and satisfy that requirement. So in the dashboard, we can see some contacts, campaigns, automations, forms. Looks like we can add elements directly from here or even import directly from here. We see recent campaign performance. We see an onboarding checklist over here in the right. Kind of like that, especially being a new user. We also see recent automation performance, emails sent, revenue generated from those emails being sent. Let's maybe come back here to this onboarding checklist, but for now, let's go to contacts. Okay, so you have your contacts, your various lists, how you are tagging users, customers, how you are segmenting them. So that's cool. We'll come back to that. Let's go to campaigns. So all of your different types of campaigns are in here. Automations, set up a new automation, import from maybe you set up an automation on another site and you want to import that in. You can do that. We got forms, email templates, tools. Under tools, we have link triggers. Not quite sure what that does. I'm assuming you create a link, and then once that link is clicked, it fires something off. Maybe it triggers an automation. Abandoned cart. We want to turn that on. Integrations. Okay, here we can see the integrations or additional integrations. Zero Bounce, Twilio, and OpenAI. So I'm assuming here we turn on OpenAI, we put in our own key. Yep. To bring our own key there. All right, here we go. So these are the settings. Let's go through these. So these are the general business settings. We can add our social media accounts, our email settings, who it's from, reply to, bounce tracking, sending frequency. double opt-in. So if you want to require somebody to confirm, so they get an email address and then they confirm that, yes, I do want to receive the emails. That's what that is. And then you've got some ways that you can customize the email subject, the preview text, and the email body, and then do some things with like an action after they confirm their double opt-in. You can redirect to a page or redirect to an external URL. So lots of really cool options there. Okay, let's go under general. If you want to display MailMint in your email footer, just don't do anything. Otherwise, uncheck this box. Here we set up our unsubscribe page settings. So someone, if they want to unsubscribe from some of your lists, all of your lists, you can set that up here. Preference page settings. Let's see, what does this get into? Set up options involved in allowing a contact to change email preferences. Okay, so you have no contact cannot manage list subscription. Okay, so in that one, let's say they're part of one of your lists. Like if you turn this on by default, you're saying that they can't go in and unsubscribe from anything based on their preferences page. You can also say contact only and see the manage. Like they can only see. So this one is like, no, you can't manage. This one is contact only. Contact only see and manage the following list. Okay, so you can limit which list they can see and set preferences for. Here we can just do everything. So they can see all of the list and manage all of their subscriptions. All right, you can set up the primary fields, first name, last name, status, prompt new WP users to join MailMint lists. You can set that up. Then this gives you some options. What based on their role, what list they're going to get added to. Prompt checkout label, join our, okay. So you can set up what that label is, join our list to get weekly updates. Moving on down, prompt commenters to join MailMint lists. So I'm assuming that's like posts. They go to and they comment on a post, for example, add them to lists. You can tag them. Add a checkbox when a user comments on your WordPress post to join your mailing list. Yep. Okay. Delete all data on plugin deletion. Yes. So if you are, let's say for whatever reason you are, maybe you're not shut down your business, but you want to switch to you don't want to do this anymore. You don't want to do the services that MailMint provides, or you want to switch to a different solution than MailMint. Then definitely check this box once you're sure you're done with MailMint. And then once the plugins are removed, they will clean up after themselves in the database. So highly recommend that you do that once you're done with MailMint. Definitely be sure you're done with MailMint before you do this and you uninstall the plugin. Okay, or you're going to lose all the settings. Okay, so under advanced, remove MailMint transient cache. We won't get into all of that right now. Load third-party libraries. We won't get into that either, but you can do that. You just click on these tooltips here. So transient cache, if you are facing issues such as not getting plugin updates or licensing not working, clear the cache. Load third-party libraries, like Google Fonts, for example, is an example of a third-party library. So I guess we did actually get into that, but that's what that's for. Okay, roles and capabilities. So pretty simple there. What roles on your site can do what? So for example, if we go into author, what can they do in relation to MailMint? Can they read forms? Can they export forms? Campaigns, can they read them? Can they send email based on them? Can they delete very super granular roles and capabilities? Here we can go user specific. So if we want to just go and pick a specific person, you can choose their email address there, and then choose what permissions that they have. Under WooCommerce, we can customize the WooCommerce emails. So based on whether it's a new order, a canceled order, a failed order, on hold, processing, we can enable that, customize it, and we see a nice builder and how this is going to work. This is very, very slick. So you've got different options here, more of a visual option, a plain text option, and a classic editor option. Up here in the top left, we see the ability to see on desktop and mobile. And then we have all of the elements over here on the right-hand side. So you've got the blocks, then you've got the WooCommerce elements, you've got some layout elements, and then some styles. Super, super cool. You can send a test email once you've got this built the way that you think you want. And then here we can export various export options. We can import or switch template. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Super, super cool stuff. Checkbox label. So on checkout, there's going to be a checkbox. There can be a checkbox when the customer goes to checkout, and this is the label they're going to receive. And then obviously you can adjust that. And then once they do choose to opt in on checkout, you can add them to a particular list or assign tags to them. Let's go to abandoned cart. Enable cart tracking. You've got all kinds of options underneath there. So in a nutshell, cart tracking, enable this to track if your customer is adding any item to their cart. So for example, they go to your store, they add a product, and then the dog starts barking at the mailman, and you need to go take care of that. And you leave something in your cart and you forget to come back. So this is kind of how you go about re-engaging with that customer. Contact fields. So each contact, so like a subscriber, for example, like this is going to be the fields that you are allowing within each of those contacts. And it looks like we can edit each of these. So we can do a label, slug, placeholder text. We can do custom fields, it looks like. Let's go add field. And then we have a number of field options that we can do. Very cool. All right, let's move over to compliance. If you fall under certain jurisdictions and you need to get stricter with compliance, or you just want to do some of this stuff because you want to do this stuff and you value your user and customer privacy, which you should, just look into some of these things. Make it easy for people to unsubscribe, for example. Enable one-click unsubscribe, I would recommend. Remove user from MailMint contact list upon WP user deletion. Yeah, so definitely look through these compliance options. Let's go to webhooks. So if you want to add a webhook to connect to another piece of software, you can do that. So enter the name of it, choose the lists that are involved, the tags that are involved, the status. And then, so let's see here. Let's do a test web test. I'm just going to call it test hook. Okay, we have to choose a list. All right, I'm going to add a list. This obviously would not be the name of your list, but we're just going to do this for the sake of this video. Let's do a hook tag. And we will say subscribed. And let's go ahead and save that. So that is our webhook. And then that gives you a URL right here. So let's paste that in. So there you go. So you get that unique URL. Oh, I could have copied that right there. We go. So if I add another webhook, let's go test hook 2. Let's do the same list. Let's do the same tags. Subscribed. Create. Let's go to our webhooks. All right. So if I copy this URL here, and then I copy this URL here, we see that they're different. Okay. So that's going to give you those individual URLs. Again, that is to hook into other software. Okay. Let's go to reCAPTCHA. So we have the option here. This is to fight spam. We have reCAPTCHA V2 and V3. I would like to see as a bit of feedback / a feature request here. I would love to see this work with Cloudflare Turnstile, because if we're talking about compliance, performance, privacy, all of those things, reCAPTCHA is not the best option for that. So I would like to see Cloudflare Turnstile be in there, but not the end of the world. You can use a a separate plugin for Cloudflare Turnstile, I recommend Simple Cloudflare Turnstile. A free plugin from the repository hooks into your Cloudflare account. And once you do that, actually, let's just test this out. This is a little sidebar. Let's go ahead and drop this plugin in and just see what we get. Since we have MailMint active, I want to see what comes up in here. So if these forms are within WooCommerce, this will take care of it. But if they're outside of WooCommerce, let's see here. Other integrations. It doesn't look like MailMint is part of this. Yeah, it's not. That's fine. Not a big deal. But if your forms are either, by default, the WordPress forms or WooCommerce forms, then you're going to be protected with this. So if it's a form or whatever outside of those areas, if it's something specific to MailMint, for example, then yeah, you're probably looking at reCAPTCHA here. And I would go with V3. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the lead magnets. Let's add a lead magnet. Test lead. You can put a description in there, upload some media, and save. Let's go back to lead magnets. Oops, did not save that. Lead magnets. Test lead. Put an image in here. Let's go here. There we go. Save. So it gives us that media URL right here. If we punch that in, cool. So that's going to drive to a specific page, landing page, post, whatever it may be. Okay, that's our settings. Let's go back to the dashboard. And I wanted to look at this onboarding checklist. So we created a list. Let's create or import a contact. So I'm going to just do a manual contact here. Yeah, let's do this. You can put first name, last name in there, subscription status. I know that this is my account and I would want to be subscribed. I want to add myself to a list. Let's go, while we're doing this, let's go back to our dashboard. Let's go to lists. How do we get to our lists? Here we go, lists, contacts, lists. Let's adjust these. So something more realistic. Let's just do course members. All right, so they've signed up for our course. They're going to get dumped into a course members list. Let's go to tags. We could put a tag like CSS course would be a tag potentially. Let's update that. Okay, we have no segments. We have no contacts. Back in this contact, let's say we know this person wants to be subscribed. Maybe you just want to subscribe yourself to the course. Actually, let's refresh this. First name, last name. You want to be subscribed just so you're part of the list. And for whatever reason, you want to be part of the course members list. And we're going to tag you with CSS course and save. Okay, so now we have that contact in here, total contacts, subscribed. If I was to go unsubscribe, I'd be here. If I was pending here, like maybe pending for that double opt-in to be confirmed, I would show up here. Okay, and then down here we have our lists. We can sort by the tags. We can sort by the various statuses. Okay, very, very cool. And again, up here, we can export and import contacts. We've got our lists, our segments. Let's go new segment. Actually, let's go back to our dashboard. Let's just check out our onboarding process. We've created a list. We've created or imported contacts. Let's complete our email settings, which we're not going to do because we don't have SMT. Well, we can configure this, I guess. From InfluenceWP, yep, reply to, yep, reply to address, bounce tracking, enable to capture bounced emails from the email service and mark, okay? Probably want to do that. And then choose your email provider here. I'm going to toggle that off for now, but whatever you select here, you're going to get some instructions on how to set this up further, but we'll keep that off for now. How often do you want to send? So sending frequency. We're just going to go with the recommended option, which is 25 emails every 5 minutes. Okay, save settings. Let's go back to our dashboard. Okay, so we need to look at creating a campaign. Let's go ahead and create a regular campaign. We'll say test campaign. Who do we want to send the campaign to? We'll go ahead and do a list. We want to send an email to our course members that are part of the CSS course. And we have not done a segment yet. So let's go ahead and just do that list and that tag, subject line. Free bonus HTML course. So we're sending an email to our CSS course member saying, hey, we've got a free bonus HTML course for you. All right. With that subject line, it looks like we can use dynamic tags in here. So that is super cool. So maybe you want to inject their username for more personalization. You can do that. You can use OpenAI here if you have that connected. So if you want help writing your subject line, you can use OpenAI. That's super cool. Preview text. What they're, when they get that email or whatever, it's like what's that little blurb of text that they're going to see that entices them to open that email. And again, you can use dynamic tags here or use OpenAI or OpenAI. Choose your from and reply to addresses. Design your email. All right, so we come in here and we've got all kinds of templates. So let's see. Email categories, selling services, selling products, deals. We'll go deals. All right. So maybe you're going to choose this template right here. We'll pretend like we're choosing it. And then you're just going to modify it however you want, or you can start from scratch when creating your templates. We've got more down here based on whatever industry we're in. So you can filter all those. Super cool. And then once you have your own templates designed, you can reference them here. Super cool. All right. So we're just going to save this as a draft. We're not going to send it. Okay. Let's go back to our dashboard. And let's go ahead and let's go back to segments. So contacts, segments, new segment, test segment. We put a description in there so you know what it's all about. Select field types and go contacts, go email, select a condition. We could say contains, for example. Maybe you have a segment that targets everybody with a Gmail address. I don't know why you would do that. I'm just some random thing I thought of. And then maybe you want to add more here. So click the plus symbol. And so they have a Gmail address and they've purchased a product in a certain category, course, for example. So their email contains Gmail and they've purchased a product, a specific product or a product category, then that's a segment. Okay, so I'm going to remove this last one here. So it looks like we can preview the segment. Okay, so that we see that it matches 0. Okay, let's say if the email contains influence, preview segment, there we go. So that's who they're telling us, that's who it's going to be sent to. All right, let's go ahead and save that segment just to say we created one. Let's go back to dashboard. Next up is to create a form. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the reCAPTCHA, the spam protection. This is the forms that are going to be outside of Simple Cloudflare Turnstile. So um, if you're watching this MailMint, maybe reach out to Simple Cloudflare Turnstile, Elliot over there, and talk about an integration. That would be really awesome to see. Okay, so here's a form. We can import a form. We can create a new form. Again, we have templates to choose from depending on what it is that you want to do. Maybe you want to create a pop-up. So let's find a pop-up. You can start from scratch again, or you can choose a pre-made template, preview it, and set that all up. Let's do a fixed on bottom. We'll just go with, we'll go with this one right here. So we'll apply that. So we can change the title of it, who to assign it to. So based on lists and tags. So again, course members, tag, CSS course. And we can design this up. So you're kind of like in the block editor. This feels very much like the WordPress block editor. So you have lots and lots of options here with the form. Confirmation settings, after form submission, run automation, display options, admin notifications, types of forms, animation, appearance, where it displays, only on the homepage, on all pages, on certain posts. Wow, this is really, really slick. Obviously, like for that color, I changed the background to black. That button doesn't look good. So we want to come in here and we can adjust the button styling. Okay, change the background maybe there. Super cool. All right. So that is the forms in a nutshell. We got the appearance, again, where it appears, close button color. Cool, cool. We can't see that right now. Maybe that's because it's black. It looks like that's the case. Maybe I'll set it to this red. Okay, so then up here, we've got the option. I'm not sure what this plus symbol is. Oh, here we go. So we've got some blocks over here we can add. Yeah, so this looks to be using the WordPress block editor. I didn't know that. Very, very slick. Okay, so we have the option to publish it, save it as draft. Let's go ahead and publish it. And I'm going to say, I forgot to do this. I'm going to say display on homepage update. All right, let's go to our homepage. There we go. So there's that pop-up we just created. Super cool. Here's that close icon. We put a red color on so we can close that up. Lots and lots of options here. You can see that right here on my screen. Lots and lots of options. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. Let's create an automation and then I'll get you guys out of here. So we can import an automation or we can create a new one. Let's create a new one. Let's do new order. Let's do completed order, follow up, and move. So let's go ahead and preview it. So the trigger is going to be order completed. You can do all products, specific product. Let's do choose product, simple product. There we go. So that's our trigger. Time delay. How long do you want to wait till you send it? Hours, minutes, days. We'll just go ahead and go with the default 1 minute for this. Once that happens, they buy that product. We are going to send an email. Okay, so there's also the option to select for transactional. So if you're not marketing to somebody, maybe they bought something, you need to send them like some important onboarding information. That's not marketing. So you can mark that as transactional in this case. Okay. So sender email, sender name, all that good stuff. Subject line, email preview text, all that. Then you can design it. So that's the email. And then then it's just going to exit. Okay. All right. So let's click import that recipe. I hope that's what we do. Here's our stats. Oh, that's cool. So you have individual stats based on each step. Super slick. Okay, let's click start workflow. Okay, so that is now active. I'm not sure why this still says not set up. Okay, there we go. So that something happened there. Okay, so let's go purchase this product. I'm going to open a new browser. I'm going to purchase this product. Sorry for the ugly page. This is more just a test site. Let's go to shop, simple product, view cart, checkout. Let me just put in my information here, and then we'll just get a confirmation that email went through. Okay, it looks like that order went through. Let's go back to our dashboard here, and we should see some. I'm going to refresh this. We should see some stats. There we go. So we see 1, and we have not sent the email yet. Remember, there's that 1 minute delay. Let's go to report and see what that does. Okay, so we see that one person has entered into the workflow. The email still has not been sent. Now, while we're waiting, something I want to mention here. So we've created the onboarding. We've completed the onboarding process. So one thing I want to mention here is, this is again a very first look video. I've literally never seen MailMint before, but I've used other email marketing platforms before. So it may seem like I know my way around this, but this is speaking to how easy MailMint is to use. Also, I didn't need to look at the documentation one time. So if you've ever used email marketing before, this is going to be very familiar to you. But it's a very clean interface, very easy to use. Yeah, I didn't have to look at the documentation one single time. Okay, let's go back to the automations. All right, so we see all of this. It's still in processing. Let me check my email. We'll just see if something came in. Yeah, here we go. So we got the order confirmation. And it could be that also I have not set something up right here. So in the automation. So again, they purchased that product, which they did. We're gonna delay for 1 minute, and then we're gonna send an email. And it's probably not going to go through because I haven't set up any email sending service. So that's my bad. So we assume that, let's assume that email went through. This is what our email is going to look like. We can design it. So something like this, and then you're going to build it however it is that you need to build it. So one of the things we could say, like just like a thank you email, even, that's not trying to market in any way. You can mark that as transactional, or maybe you want to market, maybe you want to offer them a discount on future purchases or something like that. Then that becomes marketing. Then you can't check this box. You shouldn't check that box, and then design the email, give them an offer. Welcome, here's 20% off your next purchase. That sort of thing. Okay. But again, I apologize. I don't have email set up on this test site, so we just can't test the confirmation that it went through. I have every confidence in the world that it would go through. Okay. All right, guys, that is MailMint. Very nice product. Very nice product. Again, influencewp.com/deals. Do a search for a MailMint and grab an exclusive deal. Thank you, and I will catch you all in the next video.